Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever it is, wherever you are, welcome. My name is Peter May. This is my first internet broadcast to talk about my books. I have two series of books, China Thrillers and the Enzo Files. We'll come back to them in a moment. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself to begin with. I started off life as a journalist in Scotland. Spent 5 years with a newspaper called The Scotsman and was with the Glasgow Evening Times for a short time before I quit to take up a career in television, where I worked as a screenwriter, mostly with Scottish television but also with the BBC for nearly 20 years. That was an interesting experience. I had a great time working in television, made lots of money, which was great, and then foolishly, of course, I gave all that up to follow the impoverished life of the novelist, and so you see me today. Here I am. I live in France, which is a nice place to live. Across the fields there, outside of that window, is a beautiful 18th century stone farmhouse with a beautiful lottoir roof. Out of the window to my left here is the valley of the River Bave, which is absolutely stunning, I have to tell you. A little distracting when you're trying to write. However, here I am, writing away. What can I tell you about my books? Well, there are two series, as I mentioned. The China Thrillers, which I began working on in the 1990s. The first of them, The Firemaker, came out in, well, let me think now, it was 1999. Very recently published again in the States, The Firemaker. I have to get this lined up correctly, you see, it's all back to front for me. There it is. The Firemaker was the first in the China series. It introduced Margaret Campbell and Li Yan, the two protagonists in the series. He's a Beijing cop, she's a pathologist from Chicago. There were 5 books to follow that. The Fourth Sacrifice, which also came out just 2 years ago in the States, and following that was The Killing Room, and The Killing Room came out just last year. Now there's another 3 books to come. Snakehead, which will come out in February, published by Poison Pen Press in hardback. That will be followed by The Runner, and then the final book in the series, Chinese Whispers. At the same time, Poison Pen Press are starting to publish all the series in paperback. The first of those will come out in February, and within a very short period you'll be able to get the entire series in paperback, the US edition. Moving on from that, of course, I then followed up with the series which is set here in France where I live, and it's called the Enzo Files, and the principal character in that is an exiled Scot who's lived in France for 20 years. He's really nothing like me at all. However, he's an what the French call police scientifique. He's a forensic scientist, and he is engaged in attempting to solve 7 of the most notorious and best known cold cases in France. The third of those books is just out, and that's the book we're going to talk about mostly today. It's called Blacklight Blue. The first was called Extraordinary People. It came out a couple of years ago, and then just last year, the follow-up to that, The Critic, came out. These are both now available in paperback, and of course the latest book is Blacklight Blue. Let me turn that just the right way. I'm actually writing the follow-up to that as we speak, but that's the one I'm going to talk about in just a little bit.